Now to that breaking news about reports President Trump has approved a nuclear deal with Saudi Arabia. It may allow that country to enrich uranium. There are concerns this could make it possible for Saudi Arabia to eventually build a nuclear weapon. News of the deal comes as the U.S. war with Iran intensifies. Nancy Cordes is at the White House with the very latest. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning to you, Nora. President Trump has reportedly approved a deal that would allow the Saudis to build a uranium enrichment facility, something that they have been wanting to do for decades. According to multiple reports this morning, the agreement is expected to last 30 years and is worth billions of dollars, money that could go to American companies. According to the Wall Street Journal, which first reported this deal, American companies would provide nuclear technology and then play a central role in building Saudi Arabia's nuclear infrastructure. Now, Saudi Arabia is a U.S. ally. It has long wanted to develop its own nuclear program in order to build up its electric grid. And according to reports, Trump officials believe that this new deal is a way for the U.S. to prevent Riyadh from misusing the enriched uranium for military purposes. President Trump has faced scrutiny for his family's business ties with the Saudis for years. In April, the House Judiciary Committee started investigating Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner's company, which has received billions of dollars in foreign investments from Gulf countries, including Saudi Arabia. Of course, this is all playing out as the United States is waging war against Iran to stop that country from building up its own nuclear program. The U.S. continued its strikes on Iran for the 11th straight night last night. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told lawmakers yesterday that the war has cost U.S. taxpayers nearly $40 billion so far, and he asked for $67 billion more. Now, this agreement with Saudi Arabia isn't formal yet. Congress would need to review it, and the deal could face strong opposition from some lawmakers who worry about boosting nuclear capabilities anywhere in the Middle East. Nora?
There are so many complications, Nancy. Thank you. So for more on this, we're joined by CBS News national security analyst Aaron MacLean. Aaron, so good to talk to you. As Nancy just pointed out, we are at war with Iran in order to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon. So why this deal now with Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, that's the question of the day. As you know well, Nora, a deal like this has been under discussion between the United States and Saudi Arabia for years. As recently as the Biden administration, it seemed like something that was fairly close to happening. However, what was different between then and now is that deal would have been in return for Saudi normalization with Israel. That was a big ask of the United States to make of Saudi Arabia. This was a big ask. That is to say, the nuclear deal was a big ask of Saudi to make of us. Now, Saudi normalization with Israel doesn't seem like it's happening anytime soon. That's largely been off the table since the events of October the 7th, 2023. So what the United States gets in return right now, why this precise timing, are excellent questions. At a minimum, you could say it's a warming of a bumpy relationship that's been bumpy since the start of this Iran war.
Well, Aaron, as you know, I have interviewed the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, twice. And when I did interview him, I asked him specifically about this issue. And he told us that without a doubt, he would develop a nuclear bomb if Iran developed one. That would mean 3 nations in this volatile area with a nuclear weapon. Isn't that the huge concern?
Nora, I remember it well, and credit to MBS for saying the quiet part out loud, I suppose. The United States has been opposed to the proliferation of nuclear weapons as a matter of national policy for many, many years. And one of the striking parts about this deal is that, unlike other nuclear deals that the United States has with a variety of our allies, it does not foreclose on domestic Saudi enrichment. We have lots of deals that allow for no enrichment. So, for example, the deal with the UAE does not allow enrichment. In some cases, we allow for domestic enrichment, as with Japan, but there are stringent inspections. The inspections regime in this deal also pretty light. So baked into the structure of the deal, you do see a potential situation down the road where nuclear weapons could occur. It's not a straight line, but it's also not ruled out.
So, Aaron, if Saudi Arabia is allowed to enrich uranium, doesn't it give Iran saying this? Hey, if they get to do it, we want to do it too. Doesn't that give them more incentive? What does it mean for that deal?
You can be sure that should meaningful nuclear talks ever get back to taking place between the United States and Iran, the Iranians will absolutely say that. They are absolutely going to introduce that as a talking point in their side of the negotiations. Look, I mean, there's an answer to that question. Saudi Arabia does not have the same rapacious foreign policy as Iran does. It does not have the same hostile attitude to the United States. But I would make this point. That's the case with the current Saudi regime, generally speaking, a pretty good partner of the United States. But life is long. History is long. It does not move in a straight line. None of us know what the politics of Saudi Arabia will be in 10 or 20 years. Obviously, MBS hopes he and his family are still in charge. None of us know, but that nuclear program will be there one way or the other.
Yeah, life is long, and we will all be watching. Aaron MacLean, we thank you for your time and expertise this morning.
Thanks, guys.